Heading to a Legends of the Force pre-release this weekend, do not go in blind. I'm James of Make an Opening, and today we are breaking down the best leaders in each color, ones to avoid, key removal options, ambushers, as well as rare and legendary bombs that you cannot afford to leave out of your deck. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for a good look at your pre-release. We're very close to 1,000 subs. Let's get right into it. No time to waste. Sealed events are more skewed towards units and unit interactions, so these leaders are sure to give you the best advantage at pre-release. Starting with our Vigilance leader, we have Mother Talzin. She utilizes the new Force mechanic to put combat math in your favor, giving units -1/-1 for the phase. On the 5 resource turn, you can even use her leader effect, then deploy her, and give the same or another unit another -1/-1 for the phase. She's very versatile, and not only do I think she's going to be good here in Sealed and pre-release, I think she's also going to be pretty fantastic in Premiere, but only time will tell. Next up in command, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi. He uses the Force to give experience tokens to units without any, also doing the same on his deploy side, making your units that much harder to deal with. Another amazing way to manipulate the combat math in your favor, though instead of giving units -1/-1, you give your own units +1/+1 in the form of experience tokens. We like that. Next, we have Third Sister, our aggression leader of choice that gives your units hidden when played, allowing you to build up an untouchable army and striking at the best time possible. Now, hidden is a brand new keyword where units can't be attacked for the phase that they're played. Events and abilities can still interact with these units, and they can still be attacked if they have Sentinel. So keep that in mind and be careful. Lastly, in yellow, we have a shocker of a pick. We have the Grand Inquisitor. Arguably the worst leader in the set, at least in my opinion. I know I haven't done a tier list for leaders in set 5, but I think he's the worst leader in the set. He's our cunning leader of choice, and he gets a lot better in the sealed environment due to his ability. He is very similar to a Spark of the Rebellion favorite in Jyn Erso, where you attack with your units and the defender gets a -2/-0 for the attack, making it a lot more likely that your units can go in for a 2-for-1, giving you a solid advantage. What's better than your unit killing one of their units? Your unit gets to kill 2 of their units. That's so much better, and it shows. Some leaders that I think are really cool in the set are sadly going to be a lot harder to make work in Sealed, those being Kylo Ren, Kanan Jarrus, and Barriss Offee. I personally really like these leaders, but in Sealed it's going to be a little bit of a different story. Events not being super useful or important in Sealed and pre-release outside of removal events makes Barriss feel pretty useless, which is definitely a shame. She's one of the cooler ones, in my opinion, like I just said. Kanan Jarrus does seem a bit easier as he synergizes with creatures and specter units, though out of the 160 total common and uncommon cards in this set, only 23 of them are creatures and specters. 22 creatures and 1 specter, the 1 specter being the new Ezra Bridger unit. If we could put this creature in the game, then there would be 23. Though actually, he would probably be a legendary creature. Right, Ash Brown? There are 6 more rare legendary cards with the creature tag, but still definitely too few and far between. If you get blessed with the right box, though, go for it by all means. Kanan's a really cool leader. One of my favorite leaders this set, Kylo Ren. Unfortunately, he is a must-avoid in Sealed and pre-release. You have 8 upgrades in the common and uncommon slots. Going to 18 when counting rares and legendaries, so the majority of them are rares and legendaries, which are going to be harder to hit. You're only going to have, 6, maybe if you get lucky and hit double rares in a pack, a little more, but it's hard to hit. It's just a no-go. Save him for Premiere. He's a real beast in Premiere. Data Vault, ECL, yellow's kind of gimmicky, but he's awesome. Play him there. Removal is great to have in the deck as well, as units are king, and if you don't have a unit to match theirs, the best thing to do is blow it up with an event. That's right, Hash Brown. Very true. Cards like Protect the Pod, Shatterpoint, and the Will of the Force are amazing to include in your deck, and Sorcerer's Blast works so well with the common 28 HP bases, it's probably good enough to flex off aspect in your decks as a 3-cost, 3-damage event. There are also some great units with removal built into them. We have Talzin Assassin, who gives a target unit -3/-3 when played, and Mace Windu that deals 4 damage to a unit when played, just to name a couple of them. Both of these cards in particular require you to have the Force token, But again, it's going to be really trivial in this set in sealed and pre-release to get the force token. So you're not going to have to worry about that. You're really probably not even going to go a turn or two without it. It's that easy to acquire. Lastly, we are talking bombs, baby. These are going to be the best cards that you pull, and they are going to be must-play cards if you want, better and even the best chances of taking down some of the games with your sealed deck, winning your pre-release event. Maybe you're playing for a box of set 5. Who knows? But you need to play these cards if you get them. Trust me. I'm only going to go over a couple in each color, or a few, not a couple. And starting with blue, we have Darth Vader, Ogdo Bogdo, and Anakin Skywalker. Firstly, if you pull any of these, you probably can flip them at pre-release to make your money back. So there you go. Congratulations. You are a money-making machine. Darth Vader is here, and he is arguably the best legendary in this entire set. He does work best with ambush like ECL and timely intervention, but you don't have access to that here in sealed or pre-release. But what you do have access to, possibly, is Shein Flurry in yellow. That's going to be best case scenario, though it's going to be really hard to pull off in sealed. And it also restricts you to a blue-yellow villainy deck, which isn't the end of the world. Again, Mother Talzin, Grand Inquisitor are really good leaders to play in pre-release, so not the end of the world there. A slower alternative to make sure that he works the turn you play him would be also utilizing the card Nimin Strike, which is in green. But honestly, instant payoff isn't actually super important in sealed as it is in Premier play. Tragedy of Plagueis, Shatterpoint, Protect the Pod, Liberated by Darkness, those are the main events you want to look out for when playing a Vader without Shein Flurry. And when it comes to units, Qui-Gon Jinn. Luckily, all of these cards cost at least 4 resources, so it's very easy to play around the downside of playing a Vader with no ambush. Just make sure that your opponent does not have more than 4 resources, or if they do, make sure they're not in the right colors to play those cards against your Vader. You don't want to drop a Vader to give one of your units a shield and one of their units a shield just for them to remove your Vader, and then they just got a shield for free. That just feels really bad. Ogdo Bogdo, in sealed and pre-release, he actually is going to pair best with Darth Maul, and that Darth Maul, as well as Qui-Gon Jinn, the leader, are going to be available to all players at pre-release. Darth Maul allows you to ping your own Ogdo Bogdo to damage him and allow him to start relentlessly going ham on your opponent's units. Forget 2 for 1, 3 for 1. Ogdo Bogdo will do work until your opponents put all their time and effort into removing him. If you get an Ogdo Bogdo in your box and you decide to not play blue, either your cards were too weak to play blue, and I get that, but he's a beast. Anakin Skywalker is the final blue card we're going to be talking about, and he is super value. He is going to be a 2 for 1, possibly even a 3 for 1 machine when played right, and he leaves behind a solid body as well. This is the type of card that all sealed players dream of, and Premier players as well, to be honest. He's insane. He's going to be an amazing staple going forward here in Star Wars Unlimited, and I'm really excited to see what decks he ends up in. I've been revisiting Chancellor Palpatine Blue a little bit. I never really played him, but I was always interested in giving that deck a whirl as like a control deck, and he's really good in that list. In green, we have a little bit of a less exciting cast, but we have Eye of Sion, Craving Power, and Yoda. Eye of Sion is a menace in the space arena, but there's only 21 space units in this set that are common and uncommon that are 5 resources or less. So why are those numbers important, James, from Make an Opening, you may be asking? Well, it gives Eye of Sion less of an immediate ambush value. He's still a really solid 5-point swing each turn. It's 4 power and restore 1, so you'll be healing 1, they'll be taking 4 damage every swing. It can't be ignored for sure, but with ambush and overwhelm as keywords on this keyword soup of a card, it'd be nice to ambush into a space unit when you play it. But if you don't, it's okay. Craving Power is more removal, though this time it's tied to a +2/+2 upgrade that your unit will be left with. It's actually really solid. I've had a lot of success with this card in Premier testing with Kylo Ren for the most part. But I mean, it makes some of the best leaders in sealed even better. You can take Mother Talzin to a 5/9 and Third Sister to a 7/6 the turn they come out, just for example. Those numbers on a leader where the removal in this in this set does not target leaders except for Vader. If you can make your third sister a 7/6, you're probably winning the game. Like that, you're probably winning the game. Lastly, we have Yoda. He's insane. It's a crazy bomb, right? He heals your base. He can remove a unit so long as you have a good amount of units on your board whenever he enters. He's a 5/9 stat line. What more can you say about the guy? These bombs that are a higher resource cost, to be fair, are going to be played a little bit less, and that's okay. Though sealed and pre-release games can tend to drag on a little bit longer than your standard premier games, just because decks aren't fully optimized. So games aren't going to be ending turn 4, turn 5, unless you have a crazy opening hand. But they also are harder to play because you are probably only going to have one of this card in your deck. 30 card deck makes it a little bit easier to get to, but regardless. Red's probably one of the more exciting colors to me in the bomb slot because it's just a bunch of really cool, like really big units that you can drop on your opponent and they can make a big difference. Those units are going to be the Grand Inquisitor, Syndralic, and Bendu. So Grand Inquisitor comes down safe and secure as a 3/4 with Raid 1. That hidden keyword guarantees you one good swing of 4 damage, either at your opponent's base if you're racing, or directly at a unit if they have a pretty big threat that you need to answer relatively soon. If you manage to get some of the other Inquisitor units in this set, the value only increases as they also get the hidden keywords, so just more and more value on a card that doesn't really need it and is fine without the extra. One of my favorite cards in this set that I feel like it's kind of slept on and probably isn't super good at the end of the day, but he's one of my favorites, Syndralic, or Syndralig, whatever you want to call him. He is a huge possible finisher so long as you have him in hand alongside any of the 10 possible lightsaber cards from this set. That is asking for a lot because you have to have specifically a lightsaber upgrade and not just any upgrade. And there's only 10 in the set of like 250 plus cards. It's a little bit harder to pull off, but if you can get it to pull off, it's awesome. He can be as big as an 8/8 readied unit with Night Saber, allowing you to close out the game extremely quickly. By the time Syndralig comes out, you probably only have to swing 2 to 3 times with them to win the game. Constructed Lightsaber and Heirloom Lightsaber are also great targets to give him Restore to help stabilize in a close match as well. Any of these lightsabers alongside Syndralig in your hand the turn that you can play him, yeah, you're watering at the mouth. Lastly, we have Bendu, and he packs a very large punch if you can get him down in a game. He is a 10/10 unit, so he's big enough to end games in 3 turns. And on attack, he deals 3 damage to each other unit, which in some cases could easily mean he wipes the board while securing 10 damage on your opponent's base. It's kind of crazy, it's kind of insane, but again, you put him in your deck and you may never even see him, or if you do, you may never even get the chance to play him. So, you know, what are you gonna do? Lastly, yellow does have some pretty great bombs, but we're only gonna be talking about, in my opinion, the best 2, and that's because they essentially both come in with ambush. Those units are going to be Vernestra Row and Qui-Gon Jinn. Now, Vernestra Row doesn't say ambush on the card, obviously, but when you see this card, what meta staple since set 1 card do you see? Because I'm seeing it. I'm seeing Millennium Falcon. She is the ground arena version of Millennium Falcon. At the cost of the 4, she comes in as a ready 3/4 unit. Early in games, this card can single-handedly swing matches in your favor, just like Millennium Falcon has done over the last year plus. Qui-Gon Jinn, on the other hand, does come down with ambush, and his 7/5 stat line is a unit that your opponent has to take very seriously. He can easily 2-for-1 your opponent's units, and then whenever he's defeated, he can take out another unit via his when defeated ability. So a 3-for-1 potential, like we take those all day. Come on, Qui-Gon, we take those all day. Whether you're playing for the win or just excited to crack your very first packs of Legends of the Force, these cards are definitely the ones you want to be paying the most attention to. You don't want to miss out on these. If you overlook them and you lose your pre-release, my bad. Let me know what amazing pulls you get from pre-release, how you did, and if this video helped you out at all, either prepping for pre-release or, you know, winning your pre-release. Let me know. I'm really interested to hear if I played a part. You know, why not? Like, subscribe, share the video with your play group. I'll be covering more tips, deck techs, and gameplay very soon. This is Make an Opening, and remember, stay unlimited. So close to 1,000 subs. I can taste it. I can taste it.